Welcome to VAR India News Hour. Digital payments leads to the growth of neo-banking. Today, banking businesses bring a dynamic shift starting from the products offerings to services offerings and built on disruptive technologies are increasingly being placed in the hands of end customers, and the behaviors of banks are changing in terms of customer convenience, transparency, pricing and customer service. As customers' behavior and expectations change, so do the business and operational models. Gone are the days when we had to visit a bank branch on a working day and stand in a queue to make any transaction. The advent of technology has completely changed the way of doing banking transactions. Although traditional banks are trying their best to adopt technology, they lag behind the fintech-based new generation financial institutions or neobanks. Neobanks brings various financial services and products which were either scarcely available or came with heavy fees and stringent agreements. Neobanks are digital banks that provide specialized services and optimal customer experience. They are known as challenger banks as they offer stiff competition to established players in the financial landscape. People get confused with neobanks as digital banks. Both are similar as they offer banking services through smartphones and other devices. But that's where the similarities end. A report says the global neobank market was worth $18.6 billion in 2018 and is expected to accelerate at a CAGR of around 46.5% between 2019 and 2026, generating around $394.6 billion by 2026. The substantial growth potential for neobanks is driven by their low-cost model for end consumers with no or very low monthly fees on banking services such as minimum balance maintenance, deposits and withdrawals. Adoption by millennials, micro, small and medium enterprises and those having sporadic incomes and earnings, embracement of innovative technologies and rising consumerism are some of the catalysts for the success of neobanks. The high adoption rates and successful business models of neobanks have piqued the interest of investors. Not only have neobanks made the banking transaction faster, they also offer a host of other things that make managing finances easy. In India, virtual banking licenses are still not granted, though there are foreign national banks offering digital-only products through their Indian subsidiaries. Let's look into today's headlines in VAR India. Email addresses of 5 million customers exposed in security breach, says Robinhood. Robinhood Markets Incorporation said on Monday that a third party had obtained access to the email addresses of about 5 million of its customers. The fee-free broker said the full names of a different group of about 2 million people were also exposed in the breach, along with some more personal information, including names, birth dates, and zip codes of 310 users. Robinhood said it believed no social security numbers, bank account numbers, or debit card numbers were exposed, and there has been no financial loss to any customer as a result of the incident, which took place on November 3. CDSL data breach leaked 44 million investors' personal data. A flaw in a Central Depository Services Limited subsidiary, CDSL Ventures Limited, exposed the personal and financial information of over 43 million Indian investors online. The data was exposed twice in a 10-day period. On October 19, the cybersecurity team notified CERT-In and NCIIPC about the incident. According to CyberX9, the problem could have been resolved in 2 hours. This breach will have an impact on investors since they will almost certainly become the target of phishing attacks in which hackers impersonate brokers, banks and corporations in order to defraud them of their money. Common Service Center eyes for IPO. CSC is now aiming to tap the capital markets and raise funds through the IPO route, CEO Dinesh Tyagi said, touting the company as a platform with the strongest reach across rural India. CSC generates roughly over Rs 6,000 crore worth of financial transactions every month, including by facilitating personal banking settlements. CSC was set up around 2006 and has expanded from 80,000 centers around the middle of 2014 to over 4.5 lakh digital enablement, retail and e-commerce shops across the hinterland that are privately managed by third-party non-government partners called village-level entrepreneurs or VLEs. It has generated transactions worth nearly Rs 59,000 crore in 2020-21 and is on its way to cross Rs 70,000 crore this fiscal, CEO Dinesh Tyagi said. HC issues notice to GST Council over non-inclusion of petrol diesel prices. The Kerala High Court has issued notice to the GST Council asking it to inform why petrol and diesel prices weren't included under purview of GST. The court issued notice on hearing public interest litigation. The GST Council on September 17 decided to continue keeping petrol and diesel out of the GST purview, saying that subsuming the current excise duty and value-added tax into one national rate would impact revenues. Crypto market reaches $3 trillion for the first time ever. The cryptocurrency market is worth more than $3 trillion for the first time. The value has reached $3.007 trillion, said CoinGecko, which tracks prices of more than 10,000 cryptocurrencies. The Bitcoin touched a 3-week high and traded above $66,000 on Monday, nearing its previous record of about $67,000. Ether also touched a new high of $4,768 in the last 24 hours. Some investors see cryptocurrencies as a hedge against inflation, which is surging worldwide as economies reopen after pandemic lockdowns. Experts predict Bitcoin to touch $1 lakh by December 31, 2021. That's it for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VAR India News Magazine. You can download the VAR India app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.